Why do we suffer at the hands of these politicians? Don't you know politicians work for you?
Hey!
You're the boss. You hire them and you fire them. Look at their campaign. You know what they do? They audition.
Yeah!
When you put them on the job, if they're not doing the job, then you fire them. Because you're in control. From the city to the state to Congress to the president. You run this. Hello, Talk Labor fans. You're back with Jerry Williams, and we got some good stuff for you this evening. Usually we have some, mixed, good, bad, and indifferent, but basically everything is good today. And let me start by saying that we have like over 300 million people in the United States, and only about half of those people voted in the 2016 presidential election. Yeah, that's ridiculous, right? Only about half of them, and that gave us that fool we got right now that's sitting in the White House. And he's a damn fool. I don't want to get into what he's doing and stuff like that, because you all know all about that. But I tell you what, more people came out in the midterm than they did for the 2016 election, because that fool is in there. And I bet my money on America. I bet my money on the people in America. And guess what? We did it. You came out and you kicked butt and you did what you need to do. That's what I be trying to tell people. It's all about what you do. If you sit on your ass and don't vote, don't do anything, of course these things are going to happen to you. But if you get up and go vote, look what you get. We got great results in the 2018 election, and we're not through. We're not gonna exhale yet, because we got a lot more to do. We got a lot more to do. I mean, we got people that I never would have thought, would move. We should have gotten the ones in Georgia. Had they not cheated, we would have got that. We should have got the one in Florida. Had they not cheated, we would have got that. What I tell people all the time, they didn't understand this. They said that, well, the Republicans held on to the Senate. Folks, deal is this. In this 2018 midterm election, there were 26 seats up in regards to the Democrats. In other words, there were 26 seats that they had to defend. The Republicans only had to defend 9, because they only had 9 of their seats up on this election. The Democrats did a hell of a job. They lost 4, won 2, and maybe 3. And but on 2020, a bunch of Republican seats are going to be up in the Senate. If you've been around in politics for a long time, you understand that. A lot of their seats are going to be up, and Democrats are going to grab a lot, because a lot of the Republicans right now that are senators are sitting in blue states. And the way this clown is being exposed right now, those senators are going to be gone. And if you don't knock him out in 2020, or if he don't resign, I guarantee you he'll be impeached in 2020. So that's the way it works. So we don't want to ever get to a point where, we get so dismayed that, look at what happened. I told you guys, just stay on your horse. Stay on your horse. Now, I'm from Mississippi. You can tell by the way I said that, right? Mississippi. I'm from Mississippi, a place called West Point, Mississippi. And something extraordinary happened that never happened before. You got a runoff between a black man and a white woman for the Senate. I mean, a runoff. And this guy's got a real good chance, Espy has a real good chance of winning, because he's more than qualified. And black people actually got up and voted. I had one person that got up and voted. I've been on a long time. Been down there, about 20 years. Went back, was here in Chicago, and went down there, let me see, it may have been more than 20. About 30 years. And had not voted since they went back to Mississippi, because didn't feel like they didn't need to vote. We can't win nothing anyway. And I did research, and I found out that 37% of the population in Mississippi is African American. They should be controlling everything down there. But they finally got up for this brother and got out there and voted, and it looks good. Now, whether he wins or not, I don't know. But I know he's right tied with this person. They're going to have a runoff. They're going to have a runoff in Mississippi in about a month for the United States Senate. Man, this is unbelievable. It makes me feel so good because when I was 16, 17 years old, I was down there fighting that good fight. I was down there trying to sign people up to vote, even though I couldn't vote. And I wasn't doing it on my own. I was working with some other people down there. And my best friend was murdered. I'm going to get a picture of him, and I'm going to try to have it on my show my next show, so you'll see who he was. I love that guy. He was 7 foot tall. He was a basketball player on our team, but he was very, very conscious of what was going on in this country, and these people murdered him. But anyway, we got that. We're not satisfied with it. This is just the first step. We're about to get up and walk now, okay? And, now, have you ever thought about people talking about conservatism as opposed to progressiveness? Some people say they're conservative, right? And some say they're progressive. How can you, now progressives I can understand, because I'm a progressive, but how can you sit back and say you're conservative? If you're a conservative, that means you want to keep things the same way, you don't want to change nothing. So progressive means you want to progress. You won't change. You want the inventions and things like that. Progressive. But now, conservatives, if you want to be conservative, give back those cell phones that you have. Because progressives did that. That's a change. You want to be conservative, that means you should be still riding the Pony Express to get your mail back and forth instead of email it on a progressive machine. These are the type of things that I'm talking about. People, try to label themselves and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. If we were, and I tell you this all the time, we were not killing and maiming each other and trying to attack each other, we could be inhabiting probably 3, 4, 5 different planets right now. Because you have the intelligence to do that, but you murder each other. And you continue to do stuff like that. Now we got some good stuff. We got some good stuff coming up. I want to tell you about. And the good thing here is we did what we supposed to do with that vote. Again, I want to thank my number one person that did the volunteering, and not just her, but got out there and got people together from the coalition, and that was Suzette Smith. Suzette did a great job. We wanted even bigger. We wanted even bigger on the next election. But we're going to do this. I got something I want to tell you about the coalition. I think you're going to be happy. I think you're going to want to be a part of. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, as soon as we come back from this break. Okay, we're back, and as I promised you, I'm going to talk to you about the coalition in Chicago, the Visionary Coalition. Just one thing I want to say, Trump is like, and I don't even like to talk about this guy, but he's like a poison in your system, and we just hope we don't die before we shit him out. We want to get him out of there, so we're going to do everything we can. He's a poison, really. He don't give a damn about this country. Don't give a damn about the people in the country. All he's concerned about is himself. He don't really care about his kids. You know, they're about to crucify his son. He don't care. But hey, let me do this. I want to move on because that's enough of that. I said good stuff. You know, and one of the things I want to talk to you about is the meeting that's coming up for the coalition. It's going to be December 13th at A Safe Havens. That's 2750 West Roosevelt Road at 7 o'clock. It's going to be upstairs in the boardroom. It's going to be really nice. Everybody that's been there would agree that it's one of the nicest places that you can have a meeting. And the Pensioner Coalition, you know, we're not like a pensioner club. Pensioner club is where people get together and they, you know, have camaraderie, and somebody die, you go to the funerals. That's not what we're about. We're about protecting our pension. We're about making sure that these people don't rip it right out from under us. That's what the coalition is about. Now, you're going to want to be at that meeting, okay? Because you're going to stop getting secondhand stuff from other people. The attorneys for the lawsuit is going to be there. You'll get a chance to sit down and talk with them, ask questions, and they definitely will give you updates as to where we are. I think you're going to be happy with what they would deliver. You get the chance to ask questions about the case. A lot of people want to know how can they figure out how much they should get. There's a way of doing that. If we should win the case, and I feel pretty darn good. But we're going to talk about that at the meeting on December 13th. And the coalition staff is also going to be answering questions about the future of our pension. What's going on right now. They're going to present you with stuff that you could put in your hands, you could see for yourself. Not he say, she say. Put it in your hands so you can see for yourself, so that you can make sure that this pension stays strong. You can make sure that we don't have the type of thing that happened before happen to us. Let me give you a little example. The president from Local 241 told a group of pensioners that you are no longer a participant in this pension plan. Now, what he's trying to say, you know, is totally ridiculous. If you ask yourself, what is a participant? He says to them that the only participants are the active members because they contribute to the plan. They, you know, put their money into the plan. In that case, retirees have put 10 times more money into the plan than active members right now. So the retirees put money into the plan. So that shouldn't disqualify them from being participants. But he's kind of on the right track because he and the CTA is doing everything they can to block retirees from being participants in the plan. Every other entity in the state of Illinois, the size of CTA, has a pensioner on the board, and they are participating on what happens in that pension plan because they put money there. So he said you're not participating. Instead of saying that, he should be working with us to make sure that we are participants. But, you know, that's what we're dealing with. We're going to talk about that. We're going to break all that down to you, show you on paper why you are participants. You are participants. He said you only recipients. You only get money from the plan. That's an insult. But we're going to talk about that on the at the meeting. We got a lot of other good stuff that we want to give you at that meeting, but you need to be there because this is your pension and only you can protect it. Okay, we're going to take another break and we're going to come right back. I want to give you a little bit more that I think you're going to like.
I'm Danny Jo Williams with Infinite Scholars. We'd like to thank the Chicago Teachers Union Foundation for being a sponsor. Thank you.
My name is Simone Edwards. I'm the CFO and Vice President at Chicago State University. On behalf of our president, Z. Scott, we'd like to welcome you and thank you for participating in such a great event.
We have Joanne Jones. She's got a scholarship from Contaga, $3,000 per year. Joe Rogers, he got a scholarship at Talladega, $4,000 a year. Denise Frazier, she has 2 scholarships. Talladega, $6,000, and Wilberforce, $12,000. Congratulations.
All I wanna do is run free. All I wanna do is run free.
Okay, we're back. Now I'm going to give you something that I think is really good for you. A lot of you all know that I wrote a book called Ungrateful, The Rise and Fall of Labor Unions. I want you to take a look at this interview that was done at a radio station, and some of the things we talked about. Now this book, pick it up and read it. You know, it's something that if you read the book, you're going to understand what's going on with unions. You're going to understand what's going on with your pension. Everything in there is true because, you know, if I lie, people can sue me, right? So everything I tell you in that book, you can pick it up, go find it for yourself. You'll find out that is a fact. You can go to Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Everybody has a copy of that book. If you got any questions about it, just contact me at talklabor@gmail.com. That's talklabor@gmail.com. I'm going to talk to you again about the upcoming election, but be there. You know, I want you to be there because it is just so important that you show up. You show up. We're going to talk about whether, if, you know, people say, well, you know, they held it so long. A lot of people may pass away. We're going to talk about whether you're going to get your spouse or your family would receive money. We're going to talk about, you know, if there's the interest on the money. And that's with the attorneys now. We're going to talk about all those things. We're going to talk about where we are with it. And we are a hell of a lot closer than we were back here when we were fighting to go to the Supreme Court. So, and we're going to tell you why and what to expect, okay? So be there. Don't come back with listening to somebody who have not been there and don't know what they're talking about. Be there, okay? And that's going to be at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at 2750 West Roosevelt Road, December 13th, 3rd floor, in the boardroom, okay? I'm going to take just one more little break, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to show you some things that I think that you probably going to really enjoy. We'll be right back.
We are going to confuse our viewers because this goes on YouTube after Paul tapes it, and the book we have propped up here is not something we're talking about, but looks like Jerry, amongst everything else you've done, raise a good family, etc., you also wrote about unions.
Yes.
You were in which union? Musicians, I
The
assume.
Chicago Transit Authority Workers. I was the president of the union there.
Dude, are you kidding?
Yeah,
Amalgamated Transit Workers?
Yes.
My dad was the head of his union.
All right then. Now
Yeah.
we're talking.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about the book because
Okay.
we only have a couple more
Understand.
minutes.
Right.
But while you set up with your trumpet, unless you want to say something else right now.
I'm good. Yeah.
All right.
Life in your mid-20s, June 25th. Go out and get that.
Yeah.
So we can, keep it rolling. keep inspiring young people and keep preserving the legacy of these great artists, Carl Davis, Holland Wolf, Miles Davis, all the people that you've been influenced, and go out and influence young people and arm them with instruments instead of guns.
You got it. We got it.
Right on. Okay, so Jerry, while TL's setting up here, we can chit chat.
Sure.
What made this happen?
Well, you know, being the union's president for 15 years, 12 years, I learned a lot. And I learned that quickly problems we're having now is because of the weakness of the unions.
Amen.
Unions are the greatest thing that ever happened
to the working man and woman.
To the working man and woman. But problem now is union leaders are not what union leaders used to be. When I came along, you had to have extensive training. You were taught, you were sent to school, you had to learn, because when you go and negotiate, you're negotiating with people that have 25 years of experience, they've been to Harvard Law School, and you better know what you're doing when you go in there.
Right.
I see what happened to my brothers and sisters at CTA now. I'm heartbroken. Things that we've got for them, they've given it away, they've lost it. And I'm just heartbroken. So that inspired me to write the book. I met people all over the country. One of the people that I met was the president, Barack Obama, when he was state senator.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he helped me. He actually,
we had him on this radio show.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
He actually helped me get a lot of things done when I was working with the CTA when I was president. I needed him to go across the aisle to talk to Republicans, and he did that.
Yeah, he clearly he could do that in Illinois.
Illinois.
I wish he could do it in D.C.
Yeah.
But that's not on him. That's on them.
Okay, we're back, and as I promised you, are you familiar with microaggression? That's the reverse of like racial little things that happen maybe at work, little racial thing, not calling you a bunch of niggers or stuff like that. Just like hey man, why's your hair like that? Why you black people hair kind of kinky? Stuff like that. What if you reverse that? And people of color start asking white people that. I thought this was kind of funny, so I want you to take a look at this, and we're going to come back next week, and I'm going to have a guest next week I think you're really going to be impressed with. So take a look at this microaggression, and we'll see you next week on Talk Labor.
So you're not good at golf, but you're white.
People of color have to deal with racial microaggressions every single day. So microaggressions are those little unintentional insults that basically see people of color as stereotypes, which got me thinking, what if white people had to deal with racial microaggressions?
So where are you from? No, where are you really from?
Why don't you have an accent? Like a Swedish accent.
Your English is really, really good. It's like I can't even tell you have an accent or anything.
I don't have an accent.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You don't speak Gaelic?
You don't speak German?
Can you say a curse word in European?
What does that even mean?
Hey Connor, you know about NASCAR stuff, right? Can you take a look at this?
Can you teach me how to line dance?
Play the banjo?
Act entitled in the supermarket.
I love white food. No real flavor to it. Never an upset tummy.
You're so exotic.
How do you get your hair like that? I love how it's so limp.
Ew, why does it feel like that? Oh my God, so it just does that?
No, you are really pretty for a white girl.
Your eyes are so round, like this.
You know who you look like? Kenny Chesney.
Zach Braff.
Emma Stone.
Rachel Maddow.
My friend Chad. Maybe you know him, because he's white too.
No, Emma Watson.
Not Macklemore. What's the other guy?
No, is it Emma Thompson?
It's C-H-A-D, like Chad.
One of the Emmas. You look like an Emma.
You know who you look like? I bet you hear this all the time. Jeffrey Dahmer.
How does it feel to be the token white guy in the office?
Hey, Connor, can we get a white perspective on this?
I love everything about white culture. You guys are like so fun.
What do you mean you don't listen to Creed? You're white.
You've never tried meth. But you're white.
You don't act like a normal white person.
You're not really white, though.
You're not really white.
I'm whiter than you are.
So, did all your ancestors own slaves?
No, but of course he wishes that he could still own slaves. That's a part of his culture.
Bryce, back me up on this one. The thing you have to understand about white culture
I
is
went
that
to
white
an
people are...
historically white college, so
okay,
I know about
but
white
I
culture.
backpacked in Europe.
So can you say how ridiculous this was? I know. Story of my life. If you've ever experienced microaggressions because of your race, gender, sexuality, or body type, go ahead and vent about it in the comments.
Yeah.